The sounds of Africa. That was Kelly Kumalo with Mpini. You can tell I love that song because I've played it a couple of times, more than is necessary. Welcome back. 11 minutes past 5 p.m. on the 5th day of the third month in 2026. It is a Thursday, the first in the month of March. And we have about 3 more to go. Yes, 3 more to go to wrap up this month. So make the most of it, as I always say. Now, when I introduced the show today, I told you that the conversation reserved for 5 p.m. is called political gossip. What does this mean? Well, it's a conversation, but it's maybe not one that is geared towards national development. Yes, you can have thoughts and opinions about it, or talk about what we think, how we feel, but in the grand scheme of things, it just may not contribute in any way, shape, or form to nation building. Or maybe it will. It's also one of those conversations that you're very likely tired of having at this point. It's what those who speak English, those who many years ago colonized us, give us our language, give us their language rather, and their culture, many other things. Those people call it a broken record. It's when something has been brought up so many times, you're sick and tired of it. And when somebody wants to say something that has been said too many times, they start with a disclaimer. Not to sound like a broken record. When you hear that, it means that what this person wants to say is something we don't want to hear because we've heard it too many times. Or when a Christian is trying to preach to you, because soul winning is one of the mandates of Christianity, evangelism, going into the world and preaching the gospel. And then they use John 3:16, which almost everybody, Christian and non-Christian, knows. And before they get to the end, they for God so loved the world, they say, oh my goodness, that sounds like a broken record. That is exactly what this conversation already feels like. It's like you've heard it a million times. So the question now is, Sam, why do you want to make this 1,000,001? It's very simple. Because I can. Are you ready? I almost feel like I should have like a challenge asking you, what do you think it is that I want to talk about before I introduce it? But let's not waste each other's time. Airtime is our currency here on radio, so we need to make the most of it. Straight to business. The minister of the FCT, yes, Wike, is accusing the former minister of transportation, Wike Amaechi, and other opposition figures of double standards over the call for electronic transmission of election results. In his media chat on Monday, which was literally 2-3 days ago, the FCT minister claims that they oppose the same provision under former President Muhammadu Buhari, but are now criticizing it under the new 2026 Electoral Act. He said the law still allows electronic transmission, but provides manual reporting when networks fail to prevent disenfranchisement. Mr. Wike also defended the Act's requirement for direct primaries, saying it stops wealthy individuals and political elite from dominating party structures. So that is Wike's position. Now, for a while, I have to admit, I would not say concerned, but maybe satisfied that the reign of media chats had come to some kind of end, because the FCT minister was bent on engaging with the media every 2 market days. And for a while, it just didn't happen. We said, okay, now we can all focus on governance, everybody delivering on their mandate. And well, another one happened, and things were said, as usually is the case. And this time, shots were taken at the former governor, Amaechi. That the electronic transmission they are fighting for now, they fought against in the previous administration. Why? It did not favor them. Now, why does this happen? Beyond the question of the veracity of this, whether you choose to believe it or not, why does any politician at all have one stand today and another tomorrow? Usually, those who know better than you and I will say it's because of interest. And in many cases, it's personal, not public interest. You get the best version of any system when public interest aligns with personal interest. For example, I obviously would want the security of my family, right? I don't want any harm to befall them. And so, if I'm in a position of influence and power, I might increase the security of my neighborhood. So, the place where we live, I put in some things, deploy technology, put down some structures to make it safer. And that's because I want the security of my family, right? But if by doing that, I also improve the security of that neighborhood, maybe I live in an estate, and because of a few things I did to secure my family, the inhabitants of that estate are also safe by extension. Maybe we say, oh, the whole estate is dark, so we put street lights in the entire estate. Now, remember that the focus was my family, but the beneficiaries are the inhabitants of the estate. And we say, okay, it is mandatory for every street in the estate to have surveillance, so everybody must have CCTV. And I say, you know what, don't worry. Maybe I go to buy the camera, they say, sir, you cannot buy one. I say, how many? We sell set of 32. And I check, okay, there are 32 streets on the estate, so okay, everybody gets one. Now you can see that my personal interest aligns with public interest. So my selfishness is not exactly a bad idea because other people benefit from it. Right? So whenever the thing you need benefits every other person, and by executing it, other people come to some form of enjoyment, it's the best possible version of politics, governance, and however you want to approach it. But if securing my family affects the estate negatively, that the security provided only covers my compound or my street, and somehow it increases the insecurity in other parts of that estate, then there's a problem. So the FCT minister is saying that yesterday, Amaechi was against electronic transmission because at that time, personal interest outweighed public interest. It would have affected his principle at the time, President Muhammadu Buhari, negatively. So he did not want it. But now that he is in the opposition, he now suddenly wants electronic transmission. Why? Because he is now a part of the public that wants their own interest. That is simply what the FCT minister said. So I'm going to open the phone lines for you and I to be a part of this conversation. This political gossip, as I've called it. But it's always better to hear directly from the man.
Under Buhari, the issue of electoral transmission came. People that wrote to me, Amaechi, they were in government. They said, no, don't sign. If you sign, you will lose it. Nobody now talks. And this is the same person now who's coming out to the public to say, look, there should be electronic transmission. But while he was there, he refused. Simply because he felt his boss will be affected.
All right, that's exactly what the man said. So my question is simple. What is your perception of politicians that change their stand on issues? Do you think it's a factor of enlightenment? Maybe at that time they didn't know enough. Now they know better. And so with new knowledge, naturally your stand changes. Or, like Wike asserts, the assertion of the FCT minister, is it a double standard? 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Please, and please again, turn off your radio as you call. It's very important. Chima calls from Rumokuta.
Hello.
Good evening, Chima.
Good evening, Mr. Rako. Mr. Rako, when you are a recipient of something, you do not even think about the disadvantage or the advantage as it concerns other person. You just become so I don't want to use the word like selfish. That's what is happening there. I could remember when this thing happened during the time we were talking about electoral reform. And this thing was lying fallow at the table of the late President Buhari. And we all know that Amaechi at that point in time was one of the most favorite ministers that we could tell that he goes into the evil of the President of Buhari that time. And he didn't even persuade him for that. It's not even all that one step. I could remember when we were in River State here, when we were doing election, but Amaechi was in PDP and some people were in APC. We know how they use ATN. They use police to chase all of us at that time, all those ATN people from the polling unit. We shoot them with tear gas. When Amaechi now went to APC, the same thing was meted on him. What I'm saying in essence is that let us do something in this nation, irrespective of what we think we are achieving or will not achieve. As long as it is the right thing to do. Not like now we want to bring in what they call the state police. It is one of the democracy talking about true democracy, that it will make us to have a true democracy in Nigeria. But some people call it establishing time because maybe they are the place of position now. They wouldn't want it. Then after that now, then they will now begin to shout, this what is the right thing to do, this right thing to do. So to me, Amaechi has been used to this kind of thing. When it favors him, it is okay. Nobody talks about it. But when it's not favoring him, he will now lead people on the street and start shouting one thing or the other.
All right.
My name is Chinedu from Mokuta. Thank you.
Thank you, Chima. Henry calls from Bolu, Rumigbo. Good evening, Henry.
Yes, Dayo, good evening. This is Henry from Bolu, Rumigbo.
It's Sam.
Yes, Dayo, yes, Sam, sorry. In as much as I will agree to what Wike said on some area, but my problem is that Amaechi, yes, disagree and he did not support the electoral transmission of result and all the rest. I think what we should look at now is that what is the way forward where Nigerians can have hope on our electronic system, our voting system, where the vote of the masses will count. Not a man who disagrees on his own government time, his own time of maybe when he was in office and all the rest. We should look at what are we going to do differently now. So the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu should look at what we should do differently from the previous government, because we continually blaming ourselves, doing the blame game will not help Nigeria for any reasons. Because as it is today, Nigerians know very well that their vote, our vote, no longer counts. That is the real truth. So to me, there is no need of all this blame game. Let the government of today do the needful. At least set a different precedent where other governments will come and say, okay, these people have done well, let us also, pick up from there. That is just, to me, it's not about blaming who disagreed and who did not disagree. In as much as I also like what Wike is doing, but I disagree on areas. Let them do different things so Nigeria will move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. It is Hard Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Chinedu here. The words and voice of the FCT minister accusing former Minister of Transportation and former Governor of River State, Wike Amaechi, and other opposition figures of double standards over the call for electronic transmission of election results. And that was in his media chat on Monday. He claimed that they opposed the same provision under the former President Muhammadu Buhari, but are now criticizing it under the new Electoral Act. So my question is simple. What is your perception of politicians that change their stand on issues? Do you think it's a factor of enlightenment, knowing better, or simply double standard, as the FCT minister's assertion claims? 0817923 0002 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080 903 06 416. Reports reaching me from reliable sources state that we're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. But most importantly, you can drop comments on those platforms. Ayanaya Emmanuel on Facebook simply says, good evening. Good evening to you. How you doing, Emmanuel? All right, Dr. Dennis will be with me in a matter of moments. Let's take a few messages. Good day, Sam. Wike is currently doing today what he's accusing Rotimi Amaechi and opposition of forgetting. He would not remain in power forever. Wike lacks the moral ground to accuse anybody of double standard because he's known for double standards. Oishi Ejiofor from Mile 3 says, good evening, Dr. Dennis.
Yeah, Sam, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm happy that in your journalism, you understand that men like you who are journalists are supposed to be on the side of the public. They are known as the watchdogs of society. But today, many journalists don't even know. They side the men in power, which is wrong, very wrong. Delegiwa died, Eroebu died, and their names are enshrined in history forever and ever. They will never, or their people will never regret their dying for society. What I want to say is this. I want you journalists to highlight more dignity for self. That you are in power does not mean every other thing should come to you. Money cannot buy happiness. Even men who are wealthy, who made their money genuinely, find out that money cannot buy happiness. But Mali told the son, when finally they say he cannot survive his cancer, that, boy, I must have to go because money cannot buy life. The truth remains that what every other person wants is free and fair election. Since 2009, these people have come into power. They alone are there. And we kept openly brags that we know what we do. We know how to win it. And you don't know. Why don't they be man enough to pass these electoral reforms? Let Nigerians select. Let new people come. People with ideas. Look at India. Look at Iran today can withstand America. Whoever thought of it? You understand? But we are making our country a pariah nation. A nation that we begging China to come and run things for us here. And China will proudly say they want to have their own police stations in Nigeria. Is it not shameful? It's not shameful. I have my children here who tell me, Daddy, God-forsaken country, I'm not coming back. I feel bad, but I can't help it. I say, go be happy anywhere you can find happiness. But as a first son, I'm stuck with the nonsense here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Dennis, for the points you've made. And in classic Dr. Dennis fashion, there has to be India as a reference point. DJ calls from Rumi Igbo. Good evening.
Yeah, Sam, good evening.
Good evening.
The situation that the FCT minister is blaming CRA for has it changed? Sam, I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me?
You're the one that's supposed to ask questions.
Oh, okay. It depends on which of the situations.
But for the sake of hard fact.
Okay.
The situation still remains the same now.
Okay.
Doesn't mean by tomorrow we should come blame the FCT minister that he supported the situation that as at the time he was in office, he didn't say anything, he supported it and all those, so we should continue in the same circle. I don't get this old talk right now. For me, if everybody, not everybody now, the majority is saying, let's do it this way. And according to Fela, they said, who be government teacher, culture and tradition. And what is the culture of and tradition of the people? Based on majority, since we're in democracy. And the people have said, look, let's do real time. Is it that we don't have the money? We are spending up to 1 trillion. What is there that we cannot even bring a machine that you have all the parties and sound comes, press your hand to your party in the machine, and bam, the thing goes to where it's supposed to be. You press your hand for party B, and like that, we can do this whole thing. Or better still, we can decide to jettison all those stuff. Get to the polling unit that day, like option A4. Queue behind Sam if you want Sam of SROC. Queue behind JJ if you want JJ of ZPL or whatever. And everybody just counts openly and everybody goes away. Or better still, we did NISAT 1, 2, and 3. Where am now that somebody that was governor for 80 years in a state is telling you that his village does not have network, so we should clap for him, right? We are not ready for anything, I swear. Thank you.
All right, thank you, JJ. Good evening, Sam Oracle. You have said it all. It's an issue of personal interest overriding public interest. Nigerian politicians only support policies that satisfy their personal interests. It has never been about the general public. Thanks, Pastor Frederick Obobala from Rupoku says on WhatsApp. Good evening, Sam. The answer to your question is as simple as the Honorable FCT Minister has stated. Immediately they left power, they suddenly turned democracy crusaders overnight. Once the minister leaves power tomorrow, because like his brother Amaechi, he too will leave power someday and will also complain about what he's supporting today. General Manoski on WhatsApp says. Ube Chima from Port Hackett. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sam.
Good evening.
Mr. Sam, I wasn't expecting less of what the FCT minister said because FCT minister cannot support transparent electoral system because he cannot win. He had never won election under fair contest. So you don't expect him to support what many other Nigerians are supporting. Mr. San, you've said it all. I think it's all about personal interest, overriding the interest of the general interest of the people. FCT minister under Buhari was the person shouting on top of his voice about the Electoral Act. You understand? He was shouting under Buhari when he was then governor of Rivers State. He was shouting. But now, because he's now in government, they want to say, Amaechi do this, Amaechi do that. That is not our business. What Nigerians are looking for, just like one of the callers said, a better country. Because of bad electoral system, you have people who come to power, do nothing. At the end of the day, the country is going back on daily basis. The country is drifting, and somebody will capitalize that somebody did not support this and that. That is not our business at all. So we never support a fair contest in election because it feels that the only way for them to remain relevant is to manipulate the electoral system. But I pray and hope that a day will come when all of them will come down and they will be on the side where we are today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Obechima. Amaechi was not in the Senate then, and it was obvious that senators did whatever happened in the Electoral Act then to the extent of denying themselves, governors and president right to vote in party primaries. Why is Wike afraid of real-time transmission of results? I think he brags of owning River State political structure. It is time to advise Tinubu, his boss, to accept real-time transmission. Victor from Egbema says, good evening, Sam. Please help me and tell Wike that Amaechi is not among those politicians like him that will something today. I think that should be say something today and say another tomorrow. Amaechi was a person in Buhari's government that pushed for electronic transmission of results. Ken from Iba, that would need to be fact-checked. Promise from Rumo Dumaya. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my brother Sam.
Good evening.
All right.
I think to me, Wike is very, very correct in his statement and in his speech. You don't pass one government, your own government, and you were supposed to do this thing. You didn't do it. And you came now, and you are putting it to the public, you are putting it to us, that this thing is compulsory, this thing is paramount, this is how this is supposed to be. No, you don't do this like that. We, some of us that are your followers, we now begin to look at you as someone who is ambiguous. And when ambiguity is involved, how do we trust you? How do we believe that what you are promising us or what you are telling us is nothing but the truth? You removed Jonathan, don't forget, and you brought in the APC government. The same APC government you brought in, you did not go about the election transmission of your vote or whatever. And now, this is another the APC government you brought in. And you are not telling us a different thing again. In the same government you brought in, no, now, that means your ambiguity is involved in it. Thank you, Joko Promise.
All right. Thank you, Promise. Asetico A says, Sam, Shebi, we said and agreed on this platform that we'll be adding allegedly in cases where we don't have proof to people's claims. Does Wike have proof of this statement? The Wike that is disagreeing today on the electronic transfer of votes will later speak in tongues when the tide turns. Now, this country we do, heartbreak will reach everybody one by one. Asetico A from mile 3. Why is Amaechi just realizing the power is transient? What he failed to change yesterday has finally come staring him in the face. Besides, history will not be fair to his political pursuits. Moving on. Knowing his betrayal strategies done to President, good luck. You did not give your name, but you gave your thoughts. All right. Sam, good evening. Honorable Ida from Nkoro. The FCT Minister should please allow Rivers people and the governor to rest. Today might be his turn, but Tinubu will not be in office forever. I remain Honorable Ida from Nkoro. And Ida is particular about his future politically. He says, incoming senior special advisor to the governor on transportation. Wike has always stood at the bad side of everything, and he displays his evil brazenly. God will humble him soon. Sam from NTA Road. Sam, do you have a personal problem with the FCT minister? What's going on? Wike was speaking against Buhari. What happened this time? Ndu from Oyibo is asking. A few more calls as we wrap up this conversation. The numbers to call 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080 903 06416. Please turn off your radio as you call. It's very important. I have Charles from Port Hackett. Good evening, Charles.
Hello, Chinedu.
Good evening. Good evening.
I really don't understand what's happening here in this country. Whether Amaechi supported it or not, and whether the minister is supporting it or not, that's both of them don't have the moral compass. They tell Nigerians who are in majority and want electronic transmission of votes. I don't understand what to do with it. Even if he didn't support it, if this minister supports it, doesn't make it right or wrong. Nigerians want transmission of votes. Simple. And that is what it is. I mean, FCT minister, none of them have the moral compass to tell Nigerians what to do. What Nigerians want is what is right. Thank you. Charles is my name.
All right, Charles. Thank you very much. Harvest from HA. Good evening.
Sam Chinedu, I agree to you.
Good evening.
Today we are hearing the FCC minister saying Amaechi is taking double standard. When the former governor, FCC minister, was governor of Rivers State, I think he said that the APC was cancer. Today he's working for the cancer. Is he not working there? Is he not there that they are paying him? So why is he saying double standard? If you are talking about one of the persons that are so much in double standard, it is him that is so much playing double standard in this country because politicians cannot say good morning and you look the time and it is morning. It may either be afternoon. So what is he saying? Electronic transmission result in real time. He is not in support. He should be because he's in power. That was why he's saying like that. And they know how they used to manipulate the election. So they don't want that there's a proof. Because if this will happen, it will prove them that all what they were doing all this while is wrong. So it should allow the system to work as the system has come to work. Not like he wanted to send us back to old days in 1990, the way they do election, when we have another modern standard to do election now. Let Nigeria embrace a new method of doing election for once. Let us accept this situation. Let them make the electronic transition election come to pass. First, let me see the challenges that they are saying. If we see challenges and we wanted to revise, let me revise because of the challenges that we have, or we look for another alternative to face our challenges than to accusing somebody that because he's not in power. That was why he does not accept the electronic transmission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My final call is from Tamino from Elelewan. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, the Oracle.
Good evening.
This is Tamino, the youth leader of Labour Party in Rivers State. And I'll be very quick. Issues we face in Nigeria are more differential. And when I use the word differential, I mean the issue of electronic voting did not start today, as much as a lot of us are aware. But the corruption in the system would not allow these things to see the light of day. If you remember what happened in 2014, we now said no more incident forms. Let us bring the card readers. And Nigeria said, okay. On the day of the election, good luck, Ebele Jonathan, the number one person in this country, could not be accredited by the card reader. And it stayed till like 2. Now, sequel to what had happened, the whole country used incident forms, and that's how they could manipulate the system. Now, we have shouted and we have cried that we should get real-time transmission of election results. They felt our pulse. They saw that people wanted to protest, and they quickly converged. And what they did was, okay, you want real-time, collect real-time. But in case there is no network, let us do the manual. And I can assure you now that this is their big loophole for them to manipulate. They claim that they have 30 governors. They claim they have over 40 million registered members in their party. So why are you scared of a free, fair, credible election? We saw what South Africa did recently. They had a big electronic billboard, in every state. So while you vote, your name and the party you voted for is being cumulated in the particular party. This is that easy. I don't know the kind of country we find ourselves in, and I wonder when we will get better, Oracle.
Soon, Tamino, soon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, these are valid concerns, and it hurts because there are too many smart people in Nigeria that can recommend the solutions to our very small problems. As a matter of fact, if we're even looking for home-based solutions, if we need Nigerians not to tell you where to get it, but to create the solutions, we have those people. So the fact that we keep relying on this dysfunctional systems to deliver the very best for the most populous black nation on earth is shameful. Well, it is what it is. The major news comes up at 6. After that, it's open season. But between now and then, I've been playing sounds from Africa for a bit. Now is no different. This is Umlilo by DJ Zinle. You'll enjoy it. Trust me, you will.